Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Aquarian Wisdom Festival. I am your host for this event, Jocelyn Mercado, and I'm so excited to be here today with Whitney+Freya. Welcome, Whitney.
Thank you, Jocelyn. How exciting that we get to circle up live and see what magic comes through today.
Yes, absolutely. I can't wait. And yeah, thank you so much for being a part of this, Whitney. And we were going to have you on Friday, and now we have you today. So I sent out an email, surprise, we have another live today. So everybody who's joining, welcome. So glad you can join us today. The goodness just keeps on going even after the festival. So everyone who's joining, go ahead and put your name and location in the chat so we can see where you are calling in from and zooming in from today. And while you're all doing that, I'm going to go live on YouTube. So bear with me just a moment while I do that. And I will share that Whitney's topic for today is, it's going to be a creative workshop, and it is how to care for you as a vibrational being, your journey to unstoppable. So that sounds so amazing. I can't wait to learn more, Whitney.
Yeah, this is always a really fun conversation and just so relevant right now because our personal wellness and how we're able to move through the world and how we choose to look at it is so creative right now. It's really, in one sense, a big blank canvas for us. So I love having this conversation with this audience. So
awesome. Wonderful. So welcome, Junko in Pittsburgh. So glad you can be on live with us. Welcome, Cecile in the Netherlands, Marina in Sweden, Sister Bless in London. Yay, you're with us again today. Amazing. Welcome, Christy in Alberta, Canada, Erhard in Denmark, Gabrielle in Nebraska, Jen in Barcelona,
fun.
in Peterborough, Canada, Valerie in Ireland, Rebecca in Phoenix. Yay, so glad to see you all on here. And yeah, I think we're going to have so much fun today. Well, Whitney, let me just introduce you so everybody can get to know you in case they don't know you already. Whitney+Freya is a modern day mystic and an expert in inspired living, providing practical tools and practices that free your mind from limitations and scarcity to create more in your life that lights you up from the inside out. She's the author of 30 Days to Unstoppable, Be the Dream Made Visible, Rise Above, Free Your Mind One Brushstroke at a Time, and The Artist Within, a guide to becoming creatively fit. She is chief muse at WhitneyFreyaStudio.com and leads online experiences to inspire you to imagine into your highest personal expression and create it into your reality. Her creatively fit coaches are a worldwide force of creative possibility. I love that. She lives in Northeastern Oregon and is either flying her paraglider or skiing around the mountains if she is not in her studio. Her 3 children are all off turning their own unstoppable dreams into reality. And you can learn more about her work and connect with Whitney at WhitneyFreya.com. So again, your workshop name today, creative workshop, is How to Care for You as a Vibrational Being, Your Journey to Unstoppable. So can you begin, Whitney, by sharing with us, what does unstoppable mean to you?
Yeah, so what I am really just so passionate about and what I've devoted the last 25 years to is helping people to create more of what you want into the art that is your life, right? Like we are all here as creators. We are creating our reality in each and every moment. And I remember back in, it was like 2014 or something, I was in Ensenada at the meditation gardens there from the Self-Realization Fellowship. And in the meditation, I was shown that we are each like these energetic factories, and we have these like invisible conveyor belts coming out of us, and every thought, every word that we speak or think kind of comes out in like that little package and proceeds along these invisible conveyor belts to surround us energetically. And when people come into our space, this is what they have to choose from. Like our energy and what we create with our thoughts and ideas from within are very, very real and palpable for ourselves and for others. And so becoming unstoppable is really understanding one, how we create with energy first, because everything is energy before it's matter. I'm sure this group has heard kind of that statement in so many ways during the summit. And we can create what we want and what we desire energetically, and then become kind of the vessel to allow it to come through. So if I am looking at something that I want to create or experience, whether it's traveling somewhere or learning something new, or starting a business or figuring out how to communicate with my teenager or whatever it is, if I am relying on my experience as a historical being up until now, taking into inventory my particular talents, abilities, my experience up until now, whether I'm qualified or not, and then using that to project into the future as far as the viability of this dream coming true, I am limited. And often what I see is people get stopped when we're coming from that perspective, because I believe everyone here is at such a frequency that you're being called into some kind of newness, whether it's just the way you be in the world, first and foremost, always, or something to create. Something so small can lead to big change and have ripple effects that you may have no idea of. But right now, we're at such this pivotal moment that these new ideas and dreams that you receive that get you really fired up and excited, if you don't understand your role as kind of the co-creator of this dream into reality, it's easy to get stopped, right? Because we've got, limited time, limited finances. We've all tried and failed things. We've all made mistakes. And so being unstoppable, for me, is a process of kind of getting out of my own way and recognizing that if I'm receiving a vision, an image, of an experience I want to have, or like I said, any little or big dream, if I don't tap into myself and the dream as energy and the role I can play in materializing that energy into this reality, I'm going to get stuck because I'm a limited being until I expand into that awareness of energy. So the unstoppableness is like this wave of enthusiasm and energy and conviction that you can ride and allow to attract to you exactly what you need to make this happen, right? The synchronicities and the coincidences. And the more you do that, the more obvious it is, like, wow, this is wanting to happen through me, right? And then you're pulling from infinite possibilities rather than from your human historical experience up until now. And I think it's immensely important, whether your dream is to buy a new house or to start a nonprofit or reach out to a family member that you haven't communicated with in a while, whatever it is, the ripple effects of you following your heart and honoring that call are tremendous. And the more of us that do that and learn how to do that and learn how to recognize when we're being called into our unstoppableness, I believe the quicker, sooner, faster we can make this shift.
Yes. Oh, I love everything you shared there, Whitney. And I often share this idea that the universe wants us to have all the abundance that we need to live our fullest purpose, our fullest life, right? And so it's the exact same thing with what you're saying here. The universe wants us all to be unstoppable. So it's about really just, opening up to that flow. It wants to come through. Well, can you share with us next, why is painting such a big part of your teachings?
So painting is the modality that I use, and it's changed over the years. I've been guiding people to the canvas, helping them to feel, open and curious and excited about painting rather than the fear and, oh, I can't even draw a straight line. I just make a mess. You don't want me painting, right? Because of the connection that I understood 25 years ago intuitively, that when we empowered ourselves to create what we wanted visually on the canvas, in the process, we would learn and then be able to create more of what we wanted into the art that is our lives. I believe life is meant to be lived as art. In fact, all the arts, whether it's drumming or dance or any of those things, are all meant to bring us into balance, to give that logical, linear ego-centered, fear-based mind, which is very important for our survival, but to give it a break, to remind us that we are both infinite beings having it and humans having a human experience, right? Instead of just one. But the painting captured me because most people, in my experience, are so afraid of the blank canvas. They're afraid to paint, right? I was a total wannabe artist. I didn't paint on a canvas until after I opened my art center in May of 96, 25 years ago. And then when I did overcome that fear, right, it was like a waterfall of confidence. I'm like, what else have I been telling myself I can't do, right? So making your mark on the canvas activates, honestly, in my experience, exactly what you need, what the life artist needs in order to move forward, to become more unstoppable. So for example, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So at the canvas, if you are, your inner critic is too loud, and your inner critic is who stops you, like, oh, you're not good at that, you're not good enough, you know, we all know that voice, right? If you're a perfectionist, if you start things and don't finish, you know, if you're afraid of making a mistake, all of that will show up at the canvas. So it becomes a mirror where we can develop more self-awareness. And since it's just a painting, right, it's a little easier to be like, wow, I didn't realize I was so self-critical, right? And then we can practice being our own inner cheerleader just while we're painting, right? You don't have to worry about doing it in these other areas of your life. There's a lot of baggage. There's a lot of energy and momentum, you know, kind of built up. The neural pathways are really strong where we start telling ourselves, yeah, that will probably never work for me. But at the canvas, you can practice being a wild woman. You can practice being very detail oriented, which is sometimes my call. And you will literally physiologically create new neural pathways just by playing with those energies. You will learn more about yourself. And then once you do that, the canvas becomes this portal, this like two-way communication where you can symbolically create into your physical reality what you want energetically. Right. So in my coaching training or all my programs, we're painting symbols and images, and we're layering underneath those symbols and images words of intention, and feeling and energy. And then these paintings become, I mean, I've had shamans in my space look at a painting and be like, wow, like like the figure I painted in the painting is really present. Like, I can't even fathom the magic that's happening with these canvases. They also help to keep us in a level of coherence, right? Because a lot of times we have these big dreams and desires, and they are big. You know, we're being called into our greatness right now, and it can be intimidating. And so without awareness, our minds can start like already making the backup plan, you know, and the canvases are literally like pumping out this energy of your dream already happened. And, you know, I went through a tremendous experience from 2012 and, you know, up until recently, really, after getting divorced and leaving like the 700-acre ranch and the dream house we built, and he didn't have to work anymore and all this stuff. And I moved into a rental and had to recommit to earning a living doing this work. I was getting lots of criticism. It was not a popular decision. And so I crawled sometimes to the canvas, like cheeks wet. And I painted into those paintings, me in my new house, like me earning an abundant living, doing what I love. I painted what I wanted into the canvas, and it hung all over my house. And it absolutely made a difference. You could feel it. And just imagine, I love this analogy because it's so visceral, and it illustrates this point so clearly. Like, imagine you met a really nice person, you know, at the park or the grocery store or whatever, and say we lived in a world where they could invite you back to their house, you know, or, oh, we should get together. Or a friend you've known for a while, but you've never been to their house. You walk into the house, and on the walls is all this artwork that's like violent and dark and ugly and gross or painful. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even need to go any further, right? Could you even stay in that house? Right? Like, you'd be, well, why don't we eat outside? Or like, I gotta go, someone just called, you know, and flee. So likewise, when you can surround yourself with work that you've created that is energetically in alignment and pumping out the energy of your dreams coming true on a conscious and unconscious level, you're receiving that constantly. I see it as almost like acupuncture, energy work for your space or for your energy body. So between learning about yourself at the canvas, recognizing how truly you're creating your reality in every moment, and then consciously creating into your physical reality what you want, that full spectrum of experience at the canvas is just pure magic. And it's easy and accessible. And I love making it easy and accessible because I have no formal art training. Still, I don't think I've ever taken a real painting class.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah,
Wow,
I just,
what
you
an
gotta have
incredible
fun, you know.
Yeah, what an incredible story. Thank you for sharing your story. And um, wow, you have my imagination rolling with, because I'm in a fairly new space right now and the walls are pretty blank. So I'm like, that's an amazing idea, right? To really, it's like vision boarding, but a whole new level of it because of the painting and all the subconscious, symbols and all the beauty I'm sure that will come out through that process.
Yeah, we could have fun with that, Jocelyn.
Yes. Well, I know you have a beautiful workshop to share with us. I have just one more question for you before we go to that, which is how can we nurture our creative spirits to really align with this new creative paradigm that you're speaking about?
Right. So here's the first thing. And any of you, I'd love for you to say in the chat. And I see some friends, hi, Michelle, commenting. But share in the chat if you are still tapped into, or you really remember the story of like some people having talent or not having talent, or the conversations around the dinner table. Maybe you loved art and your dad was, oh, you're never going to make a living doing that. But the old story around creativity is that some people have it, some people don't. Even if you have it, it's probably not worth spending a lot of time. It's not going to be productive. It's not going to get you anywhere or earn you money or security or whatever else. It's very product oriented. And it's fine, like whatever, that's a story, right? Most of us were raised with that story. The new creative story is reminding us that we are all creative. We are here as creators. We are here to heal and create, as Cindy Dale said. I read that recently and I loved it. We are creating our reality in each and every moment. It's just whether or not you're doing it with awareness. I want you to do it with awareness. So the new creative story is understanding and opening up to what are the ways that I can get to know this creative being inside of me. How can I co-create? Because we are literally co-creating with the universe. We're taking that energy of that inspiration, that idea that we love, and then we are facilitating its manifestation, its materialization into this 3D reality. We're the portal. We're like, where's a paintbrush? We're like the tip of the paintbrush, right? And all of this is here. I mean, all of this and then the artist standing behind it, but we are what makes visible the ideas and the visions and the breakthroughs and the science and the health and the recycling and the environmental and the world peace and all of that. We make it visible, but we are connected to such an immense, infinite resource that we want that to be a part of our creative process, right? But what happens in the old creative story is we think we're just this, and we have to create everything from just this very small place of resources. And that's where we can get stuck. So in my new book, 30 Days to Unstoppable, Be the Dream Made Visible, I was given a process among many that we can use to really connect to ourselves as vibrational beings, the truth that we are energy. And we can focus our attention and our actions in our life on high enough vibrational energy that aligns us with the unstoppable dreams, right? Gives us an opportunity to receive these magical visions that are wanting to come through, and then to stay out of our own way to a large extent and allow, the universe to bring us the support and the help. I think all of us, and Jocelyn, I'd love if you have, if this triggers anything, but I think we've all experienced in some way, shape, or form an idea that came to us, and we decided like, yes, this is it. And pretty quickly we started seeing like the synchronicities and coincidences, right? Or just when we thought like, what am I going to do next? Someone calls, someone offers you something, or you see the exact information you need. And you start to get that feeling like, wow, like it's not just me. I don't, it's not up to me. Like I don't have to wear the weight of the world on my shoulders. I can see that I am being supported. And even in the midst of maybe being nervous or scared, like, can I do this? There can be enough alignment happening that you're able to stay present and take one step after another. I feel like we know that maybe in small instances
And
or bigger ones.
yeah, it's like you can really feel the other forces coming in to like help you, like the wind is at your back, right? Helping you along.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so if the wind is there ready to be at our back and support us, why would we cut that off?
Mhm.
Right. So this process is one of opening up to just a new way of being and processing and creating in this world. And this was inspired by multiple things. Two of them. One was a group of women that I meet with here where I live. They're kind of friends and friends of friends. Many of them are older, and they just like, Whitney, can we have a kindness gathering? And, we get together and they just want me to share whatever. We normally do some kind of like drawing, scribbling exercise or something kind of fun and goofy. And so before one of those meetings, I was like, okay, what is it like if we have these things present in our lives that everything else will work out, right? And so that was the beginning of what I now call the 6 spheres of wellness. And it started out with love, compassion, courage, and alignment. So if you are readily tapped in, like if I said, Bonita, what do you love? If you're like, oh, well, I love springtime right now, the way everything is popping. I love my chai tea that I have in the morning. I love my children. I love this poncho thing. If you're connected to that feeling of love, as opposed to what do you love? And it's like, well, I'll tell you what I don't love, right? Like I don't love turning on the news. I don't love quarantine. I don't love, dot, dot, dot. So when you are nurturing love, when you're practicing experiencing compassion, self-compassion first, please, and then compassion for others, when you know and are connected to your courageous self, right? I mean, we've all been in places where it's like, courage? Like, I haven't felt courageous lately, right? So what are all the little things you can do to feel courageous? Wear a bright color or make pancakes for dinner. But courage is necessary in any creative process because you're bringing something into the known that up until now has been unknown. And that's scary to the human brain, right? So there's going to be some courage. And we love that courage comes from the heart, the root word for heart, right? It's about following your heart. And when we follow our heart, guaranteed it's going to get nerve-wracking at some point. It's going to get a little scary. And then alignment, of course, we can't do everything as much as we try. So what's in alignment and focusing your energies on that which is in alignment. And then as things progressed, gratitude, expressing gratitude, just sitting down. If you're feeling low vibration, if you're upset, just sit down and just start, oh, I'm so grateful that the sun came up this morning. I'm grateful that the lights are on. I'm grateful, that my body's feeling good today. You just start connecting to that energy of gratitude. And then of course, nurturing presence, because in the present moment, you've got no baggage, no history, no past failures, mistakes, and from that place, you can really tap into what you're being called to right now. The universe, these dreams that are wanting to come through each one of us, don't care about your history. It's got everything you need. In the book, I use the analogy of growing a garden, and someone mentioned this in the chat, something about growing a garden. So say you choose to plant tomatoes, right? So as a human being, you're choosing, I want to create the experience of eating tomatoes out of my garden. So you get a tomato seed. So imagine that seed is like the dream, the aha, the inspiration that you get, the unstoppable dream wanting to come through you. Does that tomato seed need you to make it into a tomato? It doesn't, right? Like it's not going to turn into a zucchini if you don't do something right. Like it can only grow into a tomato. So within that teeny tiny seed, it has everything it needs to grow into a tomato. But what does it need for you? It needs you to plant it in the dirt, right? It needs you to water it. It needs you to plant it in the dirt somewhere where it's going to get some sunshine. And then it needs you to take care of it and weed around it and everything until it's able to bear fruit. So we are like the gardener of these dreams. The dreams have everything they need to come to fruition, but they need us to create space on this physical plane for it to grow and expand. And so that's what my new book is all about. And like, it's so exciting that it came through now. And the second thing that led to it, I'll just say this really quickly because I think this group will love it. I had read somewhere that in the Celtic tradition, the poets were the shamans, right? And the goddess Bridget, if you know her, right? So she's goddess of poetry, the hearth, among other things. They spoke words into the medicine. It was words in the poetry that were seen to have the energy and the frequency for the healing and, you know, everything that is included in that word. And so something that these shamans, the poets, would do often, I'm not sure exactly how often, but they would go into these huts that were completely dark, no windows, and they'd spend 24 hours in the darkness. And then they would emerge and write poetry that was seen to be especially potent. And I have a connection to Bridget, and I'm reading this and I'm like, whoa, how much more powerful to be in the dark for 24 hours and then emerge and paint, right? So I did that on December 29th or 30th, 2018, after I'd moved into my new house. I bought a house 6 years later, bought a house, like, oh, so exciting. And I was opening up like, okay, what's next, right? Like, what's the next vision? And in that, I spent 20 hours in the dark. I put on a sleeping mask at like 10:30 in the morning, and it was hysterical. I'm like running around, like emailing my assistant and like eating food. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to eat? So, eat food. And finally at 10:30, I put the mask on and took it off at 6:30 the next morning before the sun came up to paint. And what I got in that time during the meditations was the symbol of Metatron's cube, the sacred geometry, that I was told is a bridge, a really powerful bridge for creating harmony and union, a sense of unity between our logical, linear, ego, mind, brain awareness, and our more intuitive, expansive, love-based. Because sacred geometry is scientific, it's mathematical, and it's reflected in nature, as well as, we all know we love it because of just the magic and the energy of it, right? So it's like the mystics love it, the scientists love it, and there is a perfection of design that we can understand and remember when we see sacred geometry. So I felt like the sacred geometry brought me into a deeper state of meditation, just visualizing it. And then it was like those 4 elements, love, compassion, courage, and alignment, filled in. So like on the book cover, so this is Metatron's cube, right? And just without, like, I'm just meditating, like, oh, I got 20 hours, and all of a sudden I saw those, I put love at the top, and then next was compassion and courage and alignment come into these circles, and then gratitude and presence made themselves known. And the call was to remember that we are energy first and foremost, that energy exists before matter, that as a human race, we can remember how to care for ourselves as vibrational beings, creating a more harmonious portal through which, the infinite can manifest exactly what we need on this planet right now, which, the list is rather extensive. So, so it's so timely. And I started teaching this online last January and talking about, like, okay, when you nurture a high vibrational space by focusing on love, compassion, making sure those spheres of wellness are full, no matter what goes on in the outside world has to align with your high vibration, right? So, and I say, like, the economy could tank, you could lose your home, but if you're high vibration, you're looking for what the wisdom is, what the gift is. You've got friends ready to, bring you in. Someone is like, oh, I'm leaving for a year, live in my house, whatever it is. And then the pandemic hit, and we all just looked at each other like, oh my gosh, like, of course we're being given this information right now. right? Because the external world went batshit crazy. And the only way to find any calm or peace or, confidence, structure, foundation is to create that from within. Everything conspired to force us to go within and take care of our own energetic space. So today, what I want to invite you to do, if you can't, I was going to say this at the beginning, so don't worry if you don't have anything handy, but if you have a piece of paper, any kind of paper handy, and any kind of circular thing that you can trace, we're going to draw. And if you don't have it, just I'll change my camera and you can watch me do it, and that will still help. So what I found is when we weave in the drawing, painting to the teaching, learning, it sinks in deeper. It's like watering our seeds deep down, a good deep water, as opposed to just a little sprinkle. So we're going to draw Metatron's cube and fill in the spheres of wellness. And this will really help you be able to use this. All of my teachings are meant to be like practical, on the ground, like even driving in the car and you're feeling low vibration, it's like scan. Okay, which sphere of wellness needs more attention, kind of thing. And so if you can grab pen, pencil, whatever, we just want to be able to draw 5 circles up and down. So see how the center column, so funny trying to point in the, it's 5 circles. So so this will fit, 5 circles. Yeah, that's how you know. So let me move this camera.
Yeah, go ahead and get those supplies, everybody. And if you can't do this right now, then watch and come back when you can, and come back to the recording and you can do it then.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm just going to move this. I've got like the arm thing here so that you guys can.
Cool.
Yeah, right? Handy. Okay, so I'm using a candle votive, right? So anything goes, and you're just going to put the circle in the middle. So again, it's totally fine if you don't have these materials. Just kind of watch and understand that this shape is going to activate a remembering in you. This is something you know deep in your bones. It's not really something you have to learn. It's something you're going to remember. So we're just going to trace the circle in the middle. Doesn't have to be perfect or anything. And then we're going to do 2 above and 2 below. So we're making like a 5 scoop ice cream cone. Right? And you can try and kind of keep it straight. I am not a perfectionist, so don't sweat making it perfect. You can always go back again and do this. Just drawing this can be very meditative. I have completely found that to be true. And on my YouTube channel, I have my whole, up to chapter 15 in the book that I'm painting on YouTube. And also there's a how to draw the flower of life in Metatron's cube with the compass and everything. But this is kind of an easy cheater way to do it. So once you have your 5, go back to the middle circle and see how this circle can kind of nest between these 2. So when I draw it, it will be touching this circle and this circle. So I'm going to draw that in next. So see how you've got these 3, and then should fit right in between these 3. And so we're going to do that here and then do it on the other side. So now we've got, and this shape, Metatron's cube, when you create it the traditional way with the compass, what you're doing is you're creating the flower of life. And then from the flower of life, you're creating Metatron's cube. So we all love the flower of life symbol, right? Metatron's cube is such that all the sacred geometry, all the symbols that represent the 5 platonic solids can be created from within Metatron's cube. So this is a really powerful, creative sacred geometry, and the frequency of it is what we're receiving. See, I have my Seed of Life ring that I wear just to remind me of all this. So now you've got this kind of circle of circles and then these 2 sticking out. So now we're going to create 2 more 5-scoop ice creams that are crisscrossed. So I'm going to go up to here. I'm going to try and kind of keep it in line. Again, don't worry too much. And then just go around so it is going to look like a snowflake, perhaps is what it makes you think of. So again, I'm just trying to imagine that these are all in line. And what I love about painting or drawing like this is, especially if you can be quiet, which of course I'm not right now, but when you can be quiet, you will be inspired by, say, like the circles, and you'll start thinking about circles, and you may get quote unquote random thoughts about like circles and unity and your circle or whatever it is that will serve you. You will get the message. Symbols can be used as yantras, which are visual mantras. And so just like a mantra, a yantra can kind of tame the monkey mind, right? And then bring to your awareness higher wisdom, higher levels of consciousness. That's why we love to meditate, right? So the painting and the drawing can be very meditative and connect you to fabulous wisdom. So now what we're going to do is put a center dot. So I've switched to a red marker in the center and the outside circles. So again, just kind of eyeball. If any of you are, the perfectionist or really left brain analytical, this may make you a little nervous, and that's fine. Just take a deep breath and just say you're playing along with Whitney+Freya right now, and you can do it your way, maybe with more time. Okay, awesome. So we have the centers in the center circle and these outside circles. Okay, so now we're going to create the star in the middle. It's a 6-pointed star. See, already this is a little wonky, so I may kind of adjust a little bit here. And draw this upright triangle by connecting the dots. Of course, it's looking to you like the upside down circle. So whichever, we're going to draw in this circle. And then the complementary circle. So this is a 2D representation also of one of our favorite symbols, which is referred to as the Merkaba. So Merkaba is 2 pyramids coming together. It's symbolic of you, the union of heaven and earth, the light and matter, or energy and matter. This is often viewed as your container or spaceship. So it's a symbol of union of masculine and feminine, so many different things. So this is the basic structure for our exercise today and for the Unstoppable Dream Meditation. If you keep going, you'll see how you can then connect the centers of the circles along the outside, and you end up with this hexagon. And then you can connect across like all these circles, and it becomes the pyramid, and it becomes a 3-dimensional creation. So that's, a next level, a part 2 of this process. So this is your Metatron's cube, your yantra for remembering how to live as a vibrational being, how to care for yourself as a vibrational being. Okay. So in this top sphere, so these outside spheres are what I call the spheres of wellness. So imagine that these spheres are like, well, what I like to imagine them as is, Glinda the Good Witch when she shows up in that beautiful glowing orb. So imagine them like that, and imagine they're swirling all around you. I'll show you an image I painted that is on my YouTube channel that is symbolic of this. So here's one I did with watercolor, and I've got glitter in there. Oh, so fun. So here you are in the middle of Metatron's cube. I love picturing it where I'm sitting on the foundation of the upright pyramid and my arms open, outstretched to receive, right? So I'm grounding and charging. And then these are the spheres of wellness, and they are not linear. They're swirling all around you and radiating their energy and mixing and spreading. And so when people come into your space, they feel your energy, right? And so what this teaching is reminding us is that when we care for ourselves as vibrational beings and nurture a high enough vibration, everything around us and within us will respond. So isn't that fun? So again, you can just look up Whitney+Freya on YouTube and there's the audiobook. So this top sphere, is this looking, I guess this looks like the top. Okay. Well, anyway, the top sphere is the sphere of love. And then this next one is compassion, just going clockwise. It was kind of fun. I just quote unquote randomly put these in order, but the relationship to them, each other on this design turns out to be slightly significant. So then we've got courage, alignment, which I love that it ended up right, like in the center and right below love. That which you love is always going to be in alignment. So you focus on what you love. If say you're in a job that you feel is not in alignment, you don't have to worry about doing anything with your job. Do more, think about more, experience more of what you love, and the job will fall away, or it will transform to come into alignment. Then over here, we have gratitude, one of the most powerful energies we can nurture in our life. And finally, presence. Absolutely necessary to help keep us in a creative, open state. Okay, so this is our yantra. This is our journey to unstoppable, is coming into this energetic space. So in the full meditation, I ground, like I feel myself heavy on the ground, right? I thank Mother Earth for supporting me, for the beauty around me. You all probably have beautiful grounding personal practices. And then I open up to the spaciousness, to the field of pure possibility. And then from that space, I connect to these spheres of wellness. So love, just bathe yourself in the energy of love. And what I love about this is that energy doesn't have a hierarchy. So loving the hot cup of whatever you had this morning is just as valuable to meditate on as the love you have for your child or your lover or a good friend or the color fuchsia, right? So you just bathe yourself. I love this, I love that. Like, what are all the things you love? If that feels, a sphere may feel kind of small or empty, you can also tap into that, those of you who are visual. So compassion, self-compassion first. Are you being gentle with yourself? Are you allowing yourself to try and fail or make a mistake and fall and get back up? Are you beating yourself up about not doing yoga every day when you said you would, right? So practicing self-compassion and then sending compassion to others. Understanding that the person who cut you off in traffic must be having a bad day, sending them compassion, like all the ways you can fill this up. Courage. When's the last time you felt courageous? When's the last time you pushed yourself into an unknown or an uncomfortable experience? And it could just be telling the family, like, I've got to go to bed early, or I'm running a bubble bath, right? Like, there are little ways that we can connect to our courageous self. I was reminded today in an interview I did about Esther Hicks, how she talks about just finding the next closest feeling. So if you're not feeling like you've been courageous lately, or your courage sphere is a little depleted, what is the closest courageous thing you could do, right? Maybe it's even doing the 1 hour intermediate yoga YouTube video rather than the 30-minute more beginner YouTube video, right? What's the next closest way you could connect to courage? And then alignment. I love to, and this is what I'm being called to kind of invite you into right now. Alignment, the feeling of alignment. I'm gonna look at you again. I love, so like, whether it's one of you or all of you, this theme of alignment is wanting to be focused upon. So in the book, I invite you to connect to like a story or an image or a symbol that will help you feel the energy of alignment, right? Like feel it in your body. So, we can do it just sitting up straight and breathing up and down our core, connecting to our chakras and helping them to feel aligned. That can create the energy of alignment. And then I've had some other funny ones come to mind. So like picture a water slide, like at a water park. I love water parks. So those tubes, right? They're like the plastic tubes, and you can see how they're connected and screwed together, and you start at the top and you end up at the bottom. So imagine if one of those was out of alignment. Like, ouch. Right? So you can feel that, right? So I want you to like feel alignment, which sometimes comes from feeling not alignment, right? So it's like, okay, right. We want like the smooth in alignment water slide. The other even less glamorous example is just like your pipes, the plumbing in your house. We want those in alignment as well. You don't want the shit backing up, right, people? So it's the same thing. So this energy of alignment, so feel into that. So maybe even close your eyes and begin to breathe and just invite your breath to go deep, deep down into your belly. See if you can get it even deeper. And then exhale it all the way out. Imagine exhaling it out the crown of your head. Maybe you can imagine a waterfall, like this waterfall of beautiful light coming in through the crown of your head. And just like the water slide or the plumbing, just imagine that light just having this clear, smooth journey all the way down to your root, to your seat, to your feet, into the earth, and then back up through your feet and all the way through your legs and your seat and up and out through your crown, all the way up to the stars. And you can do that for as long or as little as you'd like, but feel into that energy of alignment. So here's a really encouraging, exciting thing to remember is to get to this feeling of alignment, to get to love, to get to courage, gratitude, any of those things. We don't pay attention to or try and fix the things that aren't in alignment or that we're not grateful for. We focus our attention, our feeling, our thoughts, our activities on that which is in alignment, that which you love, right? So again, in the example, we all know the feeling of being in a job or some role that is just not in alignment, right? So the question, then the fear comes up like, oh, quitting the job, leaving the ... right? It feels big, it's hard, it's difficult. Okay. What if you didn't have to focus on that? What if you just spent each day, you could wake up each morning, even as you're sitting there stirring your cup of coffee, like be in alignment as you stir the coffee and just celebrate alignment. What can I do? What feels right? Gosh, normally I have oatmeal for breakfast, but I really want pancakes. Like, make pancakes. I guess I have a pancake. I do kind of have a pancake thing. I make really healthy pancakes. My kids hate them, but I love them. You honor that which is in alignment. You bring yourself into alignment. Maybe you're walking around your house and you're like, you know what? I've never really liked that pillow. Or I haven't liked that pillow for a long time. Or every time I see that pillow, I think of the cat puked on it. So put the pillow in the garage, throw the pillow out. Like, what are all the little ways you can come into alignment? And here's the thing, when you nurture and focus on the energy of alignment, whatever is not in alignment will literally fall away. Like imagine a leaf in the fall just falling off the tree, like it's there, and then all of a sudden it's floating to the ground. Or I picture, we've seen images of like the space station or the satellite detaching from the spaceship and it just kind of floats away.
I love that one.
Right? Or maybe you'll get fired, like cosmic 2x4. Oh, that's happened. But you will come into alignment because you are being the energy of alignment, right? So we can really focus on nurturing and generating from within the energy, the feeling that we want. And when we do that, that which is not resonant with that energy, because energy behaves in such a way that like attracts like. So if you're focusing on and bathing yourself in the energy of alignment, that which is not in alignment has to detach. It can't stay resonant or harmonized, right? Same thing with gratitude. If you're like, yeah, easy for you to talk about gratitude, like I haven't worked in however long, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I understand. This is simple, not easy. Life is not easy right now. And you have a choice to focus and search for something you're grateful for, or focus on what you wish wasn't happening in your life, and just whatever you focus on expands, right? Like we know this. So my hope is that this symbol, this super simple symbol, and these spheres of wellness will give you a structure, a paradigm within which you can imagine yourself going in to that starry space. Build it out. Like, what color is it? Is it sparkly? Is it kind of luminescent? How does it feel? And then imagine these beautiful orbs of energy swirling around you like an atom, right? And they're feeding you. They want to support you. Focus on those. And when you do, everything that's not in alignment with that frequency, with those high vibrations, will fall away, and you will attract more thoughts, more relationships, more opportunities that are in alignment. And that's how we remember how to care for ourselves as vibrational beings. And right now, the world, the universe has created the perfect arena for us to remember this, because the outside world is so unknown. There's so much that we can't count on or hold on to. And that's actually perfect. It's how we learn, right? We're asked nicely, and then it's like, okay, we'll make this super easy. We'll just make you all have to stay at home and, whatever. So take this time as an opportunity to up level your way of being on this earth. We upgrade our phones about every month. We have new technology. If we were trying to log in on a computer from 10 years ago, we couldn't do it. But humanity's called to this up-leveling, this upgrading on our internal operating systems. And I fully, fully believe, and I'm owning this more and more and shouting it from the rooftops, that this teaching, and it's coming through in a lot of different ways, but it was given to me, and I'm so grateful for it, to be able to share with you to help us really, really thrive right now. Because those of you here and watching, I believe you are the Rainbow Warriors. You are part of the generation of us that were born onto this planet right now, who are not red on the outside, but we're red on the inside. And we're here to dream into reality, a new earth. So every second you can spend tapping into these higher vibrations and understanding how we can create with energy, the quicker we'll make the shift.
Wow, so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for all of this. I found a circle. I drew the whole thing. Yeah, it was really, really fun. And yeah, I can see, I want to do it again when I can just kind of be in silence and like really, see what comes through. But I had some big things come through even doing it just now. So really, really cool. Really, very portal like, right? Just like opening to kinds of possibilities.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I would love to hear experiences from everybody else in the chat. How was this exercise for you, and what came through for you? And do you have any questions for Whitney? We would love to hear.
Yeah, the subject of yantras, and if any of you have a question, I had a dream in the spring of 2010. It was March 2010. And I dreamed that I was telling one of my creatively fit coaches that we now prescribe symbols to people. And what I understood is that, someone wants to take their life in a new direction, or they have a vision of something new they want to create, and there would be a symbol that would be in alignment, vibrationally harmonious with that vision, and that they could paint that symbol. And in the process of spending time getting to know that symbol, creating it, receiving the energy from the symbol, that they would get exactly what they needed, you know, to become unstoppable. And so I started working with sacred symbols in 2011. Like, I didn't act on it right away, right? Because at that point I was still kind of coming out spiritually, you know, like afraid to put it on the homepage kind of thing. And but when I started working with symbols, I found, God, such powerful allies and such a tremendous resource to help replace like old limiting beliefs and the words around it that have so much baggage. Like my symbol for my abundant business that repainted the story that I wasn't good with numbers, so I wasn't going to be able to grow my business. And the symbol I was given was a hot air balloon. And the hot air balloon just reminded me, it was like I could hear the voice saying, just keep your vibration high and share from that place, and it will be blue skies. And so that became my business plan. I'm just going to stay in my joy, share from that, and everything's going to work out perfectly. And I can say, however many years later, I highly recommend it. It works quite nicely, and you're high vibration. So, you know, in the process of getting to wherever you want to be, you're happy. So the symbols can be something that you use, again, whether you're driving down the road trying to get out of a, you know, funky mood, or in meditation, you know, use a symbol to help kind of clear the mind and align with what you want. So if anyone would like to ask for a symbol to help with something, you don't have to be too specific, but I can receive a symbol for you. Yes, hi Deborah. Deborah's been taking a really powerful sacred geometry course, and God, everything is so interconnected, right? Like, it's just, there's no separation, and we can learn that through sacred geometry. Valerie says, yes, I feel even though I'm not an artist, I am drawn to drawing, painting symbols instead of a regular drawing. Yeah, so here's the thing about the drawing, painting thing, everyone. For some reason with art, and I observed this right when I opened my art center in '96, we expect to be like fabulous, perfect, you know, talented at it right away, or we just shouldn't even bother. And that's kind of how we were raised. Like, oh, you're so good at drawing, like you have talent. And I was told by an art teacher that drawing wasn't my thing. So I spent my whole life being a wannabe artist until I was 26 and opened an art center. And I learned. But imagine if you would only do yoga if you could become, you know, the next Rodney Yee is coming to mind. I don't know. That's kind of, or like you would only jog if you would, you know, be recruited to be on the US Olympic team. Like, no, creativity, and where we're headed, this will be completely common knowledge. Creativity is as much a part of you and as vital to your wellness as breathing, as eating, you know, fill in the blanks. It's who we are. It's what we're here to do. We're creating all the time. And the painting and the drawing, the way it comes through you, just like your signature, right? Just like the way your hair curls or straight or whatever, like it's you. There's no good or bad, right or wrong, better or worse. You create, you can make your mark, and you can get better at making your mark if that's what you want, you know, but just drawing and engaging on any level can be powerfully transformative. So I would invite you all to just remember that we have an old story around creativity and painting and drawing, and then there's a new story. And the new story is very empowering, and it offers so much guidance and so many allies. And you will see how you're being guided and supported in so many ways when symbols are coming up regularly. Like, oh, I'm seeing parrots everywhere. Look up parrot symbolism. There's absolutely a message for you. So I love it. Rebecca says, is there a symbol to help someone with grief, loss of a son? So sorry, Rebecca, like so honoring the fathomable challenges that you have and are experiencing, and others, that is a very challenging one. The one that comes to mind, and what I know, just like I know, is that your son wants you to feel peace and hope. Okay, I'm gonna start crying. So I want to offer you the lotus flower. Okay, so the lotus flower, we know is a symbol, green Tara, the goddess Tara is sitting on one. All the goddesses, I think, sit on the lotus flower, right? It's a symbol of purity and enlightenment. It's recognized as the most beautiful bloom. And the reason it is so beautiful is because it sources very rich nutrients through thick, thick roots that are sunk into and woven into the muckiest muck. And lotus flower energy wants to help you take life's muck, which is not like in any way, shape, or form accurate to describe what you're dealing with, but to take those traumas and hardships and heartbreaks and losses and to allow them to transform, to nurture your most beautiful bloom. And I'm sending you the biggest hug. And I just invite you to bring to mind the lotus flower. Maybe you draw it, maybe you look up images online and save them on your screen top, or something, but allow the image of the lotus to speak to you. And maybe you'll hear your son's words come through that lotus flower. Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. Blessings to you, Rebecca, on your journey.
Yeah. Anna,
could you give a healing symbol to Valerie as well? She's been on all of these calls, so
okay.
That stood out to me.
Valerie. Valerie, I got the snake. Big energy, which is probably why you're here, right? So much you're really attracted to and tapping into and sharing your energy with this group. So the snake is such a powerful symbol. This snake medicine is connected to our spiritual growth. The Kundalini energy is symbolized by a snake coiled at our spine. I love the snake because the snake and women were blamed for the fall of man, right? And we were both villainized and suppressed. And again, as infinite beings, we got nothing but time. It's all good. Like we all are playing our roles in this big play or drama. But the snake and women's journeys, I feel what I've gotten working with snake is that we're on kind of this parallel path, right? And as people grow to appreciate and love snakes and grow and appreciate to love our own feminine power, we rise together. The snake wants you to shed your skin. There's something with your healing that you will connect with the skin that has grown tight and irritating and is wanting to be shed. And the other thing to remember, I love how it's described as the snake moving belly to belly with Mother Earth, right? So really like bathe yourself, get out in nature and just ask. You don't have to try and figure it out, but just ask for whatever skin is ready to shed, that you're ready. And in that way, you will open up even more to whatever healing is wanting to happen.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you, Whitney, for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we have lots of symbols. I don't know.
Yeah, lots of requests, huh? Let's see. I know you were about to do Anna's. I know we can't do all of them, everybody. I'm sorry, but I know you were about to do Anna's when I asked you to do Valerie, so I don't want to.
So you were Anna was talking about caring for a mother with dementia and Alzheimer's who suffered a lot in her life. Yeah. So there's compassion and such patience involved in that. So so Anna, I'm getting the butterfly. And what I'm seeing, what I'm perceiving from this, and this is the beautiful thing about these symbols, like they speak to you, and I'd like to think it's speaking to me now for you, and you will know. But this is super interesting. So what I'm seeing, we know how the caterpillar goes into the cocoon and literally becomes mush, like goo. I still can't even fathom. And then it reorganizes and emerges as this beautiful butterfly. The other thing, oh, this is interesting. The other thing about the butterfly is, the butterfly, when it's ready to emerge from the cocoon, it starts flexing its arms, its wings, to slowly, I think it takes a long time, slowly but surely break out of that cocoon. So say you wanted to help a butterfly out, right? And you cut into the cocoon with a special butterfly cocoon cutting knife, and so that the butterfly could emerge. And it would emerge from the cocoon with these beautiful wings, but it would not be able to fly because it strengthens itself so that it can fly through the struggle of emerging from the cocoon. So here's what's so interesting, and some of you know me and you've never heard me say it this way before, is what I see is it's like your mom is in the cocoon right now. And she's in the mush, like it, right? That mysterious space. And she's going to emerge as the butterfly, physically, energetically, as the beautiful, amazing, infinite spirit that she is. And these challenges in her life have been part of what are going to enable her to fly. So I hope.
Powerful. Very
Yeah,
powerful.
yeah. We're infinite. I know, I truly believe, I can't prove it to anybody, right? That we're infinite beings having a human experience. And this time in this particular meat suit is such a snippet. And this lifetime for your mom was one of strengthening. And she is going to emerge as this beautiful butterfly flying high, I am sure. So hope that helps. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So for anybody else, I can recommend 2 ways to find a symbol for what you're asking. The one is just Google, the Oracle of Google, or whatever search engine you use. Just Google symbol for ... and you will see what comes up. You'll feel which one is right. I love a website. It's whatsyoursign.com, but it's what's, WHATS your-sign.com. And that you can look up symbols in there, and that's a really great website. Another interesting thing, universeofsymbolism.com has the whole library of the flowers. Flowers all have symbolism and vibration. And it's really interesting, especially for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere experiencing spring. If you look at either flowers you love or that you've always loved, or if you have particular flowers that just thrive in your yard, you have tons of them, look up the symbolism of those flowers. You will be amazed at like the synchronicity. And then the other thing is just in meditation, or just in the morning, set an intention, just say, universe, I'd love to receive a symbol for astral projection. And pay attention. Something, you may see something unexpectedly. You may see something and it kind of zings you. You may see something repeatedly. And then you can, kind of ask if that's a symbol for you. And then when you receive the symbol, you can use it in meditation, just imagining it in your mind's eye. You can draw it with pencil on a Post-it note, multiple Post-it notes, stick it around your house. I've done all these things. You can paint it on a canvas. The free gift I have for you guys will show you exactly how to do that. Actually, it's a perfect segue.
Yes. Well, let's go. Yes. So, well, Whitney, let me first ask you before we go to the free gift. How would you like people to find you online? And do you have any new programs or upcoming events or books, anything, of course, your book, anything else that you would like us to know about?
Yeah, well, yes, thank you. So Whitney+Freya.com is my website, and it explores and gets you easily to Whitney+FreyaStudio.com, which is where all my online programs are. I do have an online program with Unstoppable Dream. It's a program where I am personally involved. We do multiple live Zooms every month. It is really where I am getting to circle up with people who are like ready to really step into living and creating their life from the perspective of an infinite being having a human experience, who are ready to be unstoppable. So that I cannot recommend enough. I do have a fun event coming up that I'm just about to start promoting. I just got back from Hawaii for 2 weeks with my daughter, and you know how that goes. And it's like, oh, this is coming up. But on the solstice from June 19th to June 20th, I'm inviting the world to paint for 24 hours straight. I'm going to be painting for 24 hours straight with some other of my creatively fit coaches in my studio here and others around the world. And whether you join us for 24 hours or 2 or 12 or whatever, but we are going to honor the truth that we are more unstoppable together. And that's free. And there's going to be 24 hours of workshops, painting workshops with coaches. So 12 of us, 2-hour workshops, 1 Zoom link, and they'll all be recorded and you'll have lifetime access, and that will be on whitneyfreyastudio.com soon. So that's one of these crazy things that I've done like 6 or 7 times in the past, but not in like 3 or 4 years.
That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, just as like the
Very
symbol of being unstoppable.
Yes, amazing.
Yeah.
Well, okay, and then let's tell everybody about your free gift. And I'm sure, so if people go and get your free gift, will they be on your newsletter automatically then? And then they'll get these other announcements too, right?
Yes. Just make sure with the free gift, it's on Teachable. There is a way you can opt out of getting emails, but just make sure, you know,
Oh, okay.
I don't send out that many emails. I mean, I don't think I do, but anyway, I don't have enough time. But anyway, yeah, so the free gift is create your magical awareness, your magical creative awareness. And what it does is it takes the chakras and it takes some kind of success principles that we're familiar with. And then it takes the energies that can get us stuck. So I identify 7 different kind of patterns that keep us from being unstoppable. And then we connect that to a sacred symbol that will kind of provide you with the complementary energy that you need. And then I take you through the painting process that I use, painting your intentions, painting the symbol on top. They're super easy, fun paintings. Like I do them on camera in like 10 minutes, nothing fancy, but it will, one, help you identify, hey, where do I get stuck? We all have experienced this. This is part of getting to know thyself, is to know where you stop in the creative process, and then give you a sacred symbol to help you move through that. So yeah, I really hope you take advantage of that free course.
Yes, that sounds so amazing. So everybody who is on Zoom live here, go ahead and click on that link in the chat and be sure to get that free gift from Whitney. And if you're watching this later as a recording, just scroll down a little bit below the video and you will see the button to click there for the free gift. So definitely highly recommend to everybody. Well, Whitney, this has been so fun today. Thank you. Really wonderful and so inspiring. So thank you for all the beautiful work that you're doing in the world. It's been a pleasure to have you here as part of the festival.
Yes, likewise, Jocelyn. You are amazing, a force of nature, clearly. And thank you for creating this space.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. Yes. Well, and everybody who's on live, thank you for joining us again for this bonus feature. It's been so fun to gather again one more time. Lots of love to all of you. Hope you enjoy this. And also, you know, be sure that if you want to come back to this exercise, you can come back to the recording. You can do it again. You can, if you weren't able to do it today, you can do it again, or you can try it again in silence, like we were talking about, which I think would be super interesting as well. So, yay. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Have a beautiful day. Thanks again, Whitney. Much love.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Blessings.